Well, hi, welcome to CIS115. We're going to get into web graphics, web page design. Um, as we get into chapter one here, I'm going to kind of expect, since this is a 200 level class, I'm only going to expect that you know how to code in HTML, CSS, that type of thing. So um, first couple chapters I'm going to cover very quickly, our first few chapters. So the first chapter talks about why learn HTML, and I think we all know what that is. That allows us to create web pages, so on and so forth. And it talks about some of the different ways to look at different web page graphics. For example, if I were to, I don't know, go into this page and do a right click and click view page source, it's going to show me the source code of that web page. Now, some web pages are a lot more complex than others, so we can't really get the gist of that. So let's take a look at a simple one. So we take a look at this page. This happens to be my own page. I do a right click and I say view the source code, and it makes a little more sense. So again, we always have our doc type at the top, and again the exclamation point doc type inside of the left, the greater than and less than symbol will always get us to the latest and greatest HTML, in this case HTML5. We have all these different tags, H1 tags, H2 tags, different header tags, href tags, which are links, so on and so forth. Again, I'm going to expect that you know most of those. So that's pretty much what this first little section talks about, is how we can get in there and look at some of these different source codes from the different browsers that we have. Some great websites to look at: Beginner's Guide to HTML and CSS, HTML Dog, HTML Goodies, so, and Smashing Magazine. So a lot of different ways to look at different sites to learn HTML, and some of the different hints and tips and secrets. So some of the coding basics. Again, if we were to I've actually included code to look at in Joule. And so if we look at the first example here and I double click on it, it basically says always do right, blah, 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 blah. And again, if we do a right click and look at the page source, it just has a paragraph and another paragraph mark, and then an HR, which is a horizontal rule, which basically draws a line. So that's really all we've got. So our browser was able to read that and interpret what needs to happen, and it was able to display that as a paragraph and then another paragraph with a dash mark 20 at the end. So basically we got a P tag. So we always want to have an ending P tag. So in this case, we've got a P tag right here, and we type some text and we have a /P, which is an ending P tag. We always want to have a closing slash. Now, some of our tags, like the IMG tag, does not have a closing tag. Now, according to the standards of HTML coding, we should always have a slash. So right before this greater than symbol at the end, we should include a slash right there to kind of show that we are done with this tag. Again, the first line of the HTML document is a doc type or document type declaration. The doc type tells the browser which version of HTML you're using. And since we have the exclamation point doc type, that is the HTML5, which is the latest and greatest at this point. This is be sure to include the doc type declaration. We'll discuss validation more later on in this book. XHTML, we're not going to really get into that, but just realize, so that's just basically what we have right here. So if we look right here on number 5, so here we have our doc type HTML. Again, we're telling it we're using HTML5. We have our beginning HTML. We don't really need that HTML inside of that doc type, by the way. And then we have a header. The header area tells us gives us kind of information about this particular website. We have a title, which is the title. So when we look up here on this tag up here, it will show us what the title is of that web page. And then we have our body. Now, the ending body tag, that is the body of the web page. This is the stuff that's being displayed on the page. We got a P tag, ending P tag, another P tag, ending P tag, and we have a horizontal rule. When we just viewed it, that's basically what it looks like. I believe that is example number 2, which is the same thing, but when I do a right click and view page source, there we see all of the different documentation, or all of the tags needed for this particular HTML web page. And again, we have HTML, we always have an ending HTML tag. So we always want an ending tag if it's available. We can add some more tags. So I believe this is example number 3. Or maybe not. So here we have a Mark Twain quote, always do what's right. Notice that it's indented in, and then we have the Mark Twain ending tag there, but you will notice it is a link. So if we take a look at this code, we can see that we have our header tag, which has our title, and then inside of it we have an H1 tag, Mark Twain quote. Block quote and ending block quote, that says indent in. If I put another block quote inside of a block quote, that would indent twice, so on and so forth. Now, to get back to where we have our text all the way up to the left-hand margin, we need to have an ending block quote to basically tab in and then tab back. So here we have an href tag where we have our link to a Wikipedia for Mark Twain, and we have title equals that. Well, that is a parameter inside of that. So what that allows me to do is if I just hover over that guy, it will tell me information on Mark Twain. So the title tag inside of an href tag will basically allow us to give information or metadata on that particular tag. Again, we just went through all of that, so pretty straightforward stuff. Again, a lot of stuff you should already know. So when we link to a site, here it says when creating links within a site or collection of similar pages, you sometimes want to use relative links. Relative links are an address that are valid only if you're surfing to another page on the same site. So what they're saying is, instead of having to type in http :/ and then the text, if I were to just type in another web page that this web page is inside of, that's called relative. It's expecting all of that information to already be there, and it's looking on the same exact page. So again, if I were at my index right here, I could just type href to page1.html, and I wouldn't need http : I wouldn't need all of that. I would just say page 1, and now it's expecting page 1 to be in the same place that my index file is as well. So that's called relative. Now, if we look here at this example, here it's got href. Let's look right here. So here I've got page 1. So here I am in page 1. And if so this is my index page, and I just want to go to page 1, I can just say href page 1, and it's going to take me directly to that page. But let's say that this next page is inside of another folder, okay? Or I'm in this page and I need to get back to that page. Well, what I can do is I can do .. and that says go to your current folder and go up to the parent folder. So the / says go to the parent folder. But what if I'm here and I need to get here? So I'm basically in this folder. This is my parent folder. This is my grandparent folder. How do I do that? I do .. / So the first .. takes me from here to this folder. The next .. takes me to the next folder. So it's a way for us to basically move from folder to folder without typing in the entire path. So that's pretty much it with chapter 1. Again, I'm going to treat chapter 1 as more of review. Actually, chapter 1, 2, and 3 is more of review than anything else. So as we come back, we'll see chapter 2.